Imagine if I have the cardio to go 3 5-minute rounds with him. That pressure of me blocking those punches with my forehead, I'm going to make you so tired, you're going to look for a way out. I don't care who you are.
All right, everybody. Mike Perry is here, BKFC superstar, the promoting face behind Dirty Boxing, who has their second public event coming up June 14th at the Hangar in Miami, live and free on YouTube. DBX2 headlined by Jairzinho Rozenstruik versus Devin Schwan. So much to discuss with Platinum Mike Perry. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Business is booming. Everything's coming together nicely, and I'm excited for June 14th. That's the first next thing that's about to blow up and pop off. And there's some really good fights on that card. A lot of great fighters have been talking trash to each other. I've been laughing. I've been enjoying all of it. And I'm going to be commentating for my second time there. So I'm excited for that. I got a whole new outlook on everything, and always preparing.
When you say you have a whole new outlook on everything, because I was covering the first event, watching and covering it for the website, you were on color commentary with Anik's brother, and I'm sorry, I apologize to the man who was doing the lead, but a lot happened there. It was classic Yo Romero, third round, getting the KO, and Andrei Arlovsky gets the finish, and fighters are flossing mid-fight, they're dancing, there's some wild scraps for sure. When you say that you have a different outlook on stuff, what do you mean by that? What did you learn from DBX1 that's going to help you for DBX2?
Well, working with Brendan Tobin and Jason Anik, they were doing great. And, just being a part of the squad and learning where to take my reins. And I'm trying to take over there as a great commentator. I'm trying to take over and really run the show. And there were some things I got to watch from DBX1 and listen to throughout the fights that, I was listening to hear myself and see what I was saying, what the other guys were saying, and how we could do it better, fill more gaps. I think some small moments in fights where there should be a little bit of pause, like golf, where we really just enjoy the sport. But as the commentator, that's part of your job, is like you really got to find those moments and when to input, when to give people something to, teach the people something about the sport, about what it is we're looking for as far as action and competitiveness. And, also having a lot of the fighters and having known a lot of fighters, and I will know even more on this next card, how to balance things where, my side of the job and their side of the job. And as we are, professional businessmen, how to interact in certain moments and how to keep myself out of certain things. It's all a learning lesson. I've been around a lot of money lately, so I'm just been watching and learning and jotting things down. So
as I speak to you, there's one question I did have about DBX1, because the card was the same day as UFC London, which was going on in the afternoon, sort of leading into what you guys are doing. And the event, the prelims, the broadcast was supposed to start at a certain time, and it got delayed a little bit. Obviously, first show, first live broadcast from the promotion. There's things you got to deal with. There's things you're learning along the way. Was this a tech issue, or my thought was this is a strategic move on your end to wait for Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards to end so that the UFC watchers can funnel their way over to you guys?
Well, I like where your head's at. A lot of it was, I think, a mixed collaboration of those things, and definitely got some big money makers making a lot of moves for us at Dirty Boxing, and we're trying to go along for a really fun ride. That's what a lot of this is about. It's the entertainment business, and we want to give fans great fights. And if they needed a little more time, We got things together, we got it done right, and when we came on, it was the next big hit show. Dirty Boxing was really grabbing those reins and showing the people a good time. We put on some amazing fights. Regardless, the combat sports space is it's kind of full. It's got a lot of people trying to fight, and the old percentages were like between like 6 and 10% of men, or like of fighters. They say there's the 1% of fighters, and these are all social media numbers that they give us. And how many men are professional fighters? There's billions of people on the planet, and you probably got no, it's probably less than 6 to 10%, aren't fighters. So, we do what we can, and that's give people great shows, give people great entertainment, exciting action, and have a good time after. It's all about the platinum parties.
DBX2, much like DBX1, a lot of familiar names. You mentioned at the top, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, a guy who had a lot of UFC fights, a lot of main events for the UFC, and he was sort of unceremoniously released by the UFC after losing a decision to Sergey Pavlovich. Were you surprised he got released? And as a guy who's the promoting face of this organization, how did this get done to bring him over?
I feel like we were the ones who kind of released that information to the public. Like, they saw Jairzinho put on a main event for us, and that when we posted the card, there was a lot of comments about, "Oh, we're shocked. We didn't know that he was out." And the fact that we posted that, it just shows that we're making the right moves, and we're in those rooms talking with the right people, doing the right business. And you know we're here to grab our own slice of the pie for sure. Very entertaining fighting style with Dirty Boxing, and you'll see that June 14th with more than just the main event being a very exciting fight. There's lots on the card. So we got some movers in the business, and Mike Perry himself. I'm a mover in this business. It's platinum punches for life, man. We're throwing them. We're throwing heat your way, and it's all to knock your socks off.
Yeah, I think the name that shocked people the most was Alex Caceres. They saw his photo and his name on the fight card, and I remember tweeting out once I got the information. I'm like, Alex Caceres is fighting Saidi Kakhramonov in the co-main event. And everyone's like, what? Alex Caceres is in the UFC? No, I guess he's not. He's with you guys now. So yeah, you guys are making big moves. Alex Caceres, fan-friendly guy, and now he's on your roster. That's a veteran with a lot of fights and experience under his belt. That is a great name to have on your roster, is it not?
I mean, we have lots of great fighters pledging to us, and there's more where that came from. I think it's interesting with Alex based on his style. Jairzinho was a kickboxer as well, but very big puncher. Alex Caceres, a skilled technical fighter. Bruce Leroy, and very mixed martial artist with different styles, taekwondo, kicking, and all those things, but interested in the small glove boxing. And we got elbows and ground and pound. So it's a good mix in our sport of MMA with brutality and big hits of boxing. And so we're kind of pinning these guys to make them battle it out in a very violent, high classy way. And we're excited to have Alex Caceres and other guys as well. There's some really good fights. We got one fight pinning, real high level professional boxing against a former UFC fighter on the card. And I'm excited to see that one. I mean, I'm excited to see them all. I can't get enough. So, just excited for June 14th. Make sure y'all go to eventbrite.com, DBX2, and look, if there's any tickets left, you should get them. And I think we'll be streaming as well that night.
Social media wise, nothing on this card has more heat than my fellow New Englander Rob Perez and Alex Nicholson. Good Lord, man. That is a promoter's dream, these two guys just going back and forth, right? It's been unbelievable. I've been cracking up.
They've been mocking each other's voices and stuff, and I actually think they were pretty good at it. It's hilarious, and you know, it's a lot of disrespect, but I think these guys are going to fight their hearts out, and we're going to see a lot out of that one. And it's a heavyweight clash. It's big power being thrown around. So I'm excited for them all, man. I like the Wolf. I like what he's done with dirty boxing. He definitely talks the talk. And Alex is a great friend of mine and a monstrous fighter. He truly is. He's been in some battles and he's had trouble against guys, 270 pounds. I'm excited to see this matchup. I think that they're matched up pretty well. Shout out to our matchmaker who's done his thing with Dirty Boxing, putting these cards together. I mean, he's working with the team behind the scenes and he gets a lot going on. And I do help illustrate a few of these fights. People reach out and if they're a good fit, I definitely send them in the right direction.
You're obviously got the promoter hat on. June 14th, this all goes down. But what in the world is going on? Wow. Holy smokes. Multiple hats you're wearing, my man. But what in the world is going on with you in your fighting career? Because we have all been sitting back. We've been eagerly awaiting some sort of fight announcement from you, and we haven't gotten one. So if you want to announce it here, great. But do you have something like lined up that just hasn't been announced? Or are you still waiting for the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed there? What is going on here?
That's a frustrating question considering things, but I did get a very positive phone call today. I think I could say that there are things lined up and they've been lined up, but I think my opposition may want more time to prepare properly in preparation, considering my 5-0 bare knuckle fighting and their, not having the experience in specifically bare knuckle, besides maybe some street fights they got into that we don't know about. So there is some exciting news out there, and there were other options. There were lots of things that I can't really say. And you know what? There are no bad options with me that are coming to the table. That's one of the biggest problems, that all the options are kind of tender and juicy, like a nice New York strip. So, just a little matter of time. But for now, the promoter hat is on. I got Platinum Tequila. I got Dirty Boxing. Bare Knuckle FC is still very exciting. And, the options will come. I would say, I was just in Las Vegas with some bettors, and I would say, would you bet your money that I fight this year? Because I'd say I do. And I know we're talking one at least. I spar, and those are different kinds of fights. In life, we have fights outside of just knuckle punching each other. I'm battling all types of business moves and everything, but I keep myself strong, and I want that contract to come through so that I can really turn up the heat in the gym. I need that phone call that says, hey, this is a for sure thing. And, I'll talk to my business partners and my managers and the leagues, the organizations. And there is plans to do something big, do it the right way. And it needs to be done that way. I'm with that. But, I think now is the time that I turn up the heat in training and, prepare myself over the next 8 weeks.
All right. We will look forward to that announcement. You mentioned your trip to Vegas. You mentioned sparring. I think you know where I'm going with this. You had yourself a spar with the former UFC middleweight champion, Sean Strickland, and Sean put you over, man. He called you a savage. He said you were way tougher than him. And as you very well know, Sean Strickland is not one to just throw compliments and praise out for no reason. That's just not in his nature, but he did that with you. What was that like for you sparring with Sean Strickland? It feels like this was something that had to happen at some point, right?
Absolutely. We've talked about it a few times, and I went out of my way to make it happen. I had to go to Vegas. Obviously, he's the big name, and Platinum's got his own name, his own power going on. But that was kind of my choice to make, and I made sure I wrote him and contacted him, and we talked. I sent him my number. He hit me up, and such a great guy. Sean Strickland was like, he was trying to get me to ride dirt bikes and I think shoot guns out there in the desert of Las Vegas. And, I was like, just didn't have the time, but I could stop by. You guys got sparring at 10 a.m. on this day. Okay, I'll be there. I showed up, I went, I did some warm-ups, I did a round with someone else, and then I did a round with Sean, who's very big, by the way. He's got at least 35 pounds on me. And, it was nice to see his style and how he is and feel some of those punches. Obviously, that's a Platinum pressure style that I had to use to get myself close to him to even try to make contact. Sean was very defensive and, I can make you very tired just by blocking a lot of your punches or taking some of them right on the forehead. And when I'm in that type of shape where I could, plus elevation in Las Vegas, it's not something I prepared myself for. I just showed up at the gym and did it. And a 5-minute round with Sean Strickland. Let's see, if obviously he'll work with you probably because most people don't want to go spar Sean Strickland 5 minutes. And if they did, we would see what would happen to him. Any of those punches that I had to take just to roll off the shoulder would have dropped a lot of folks that are in the comments talking. But I wanted to give you guys the entertainment and show you guys. And it was cool to spar Sean, man. I like his capabilities. Imagine if I have the cardio to go 3 5-minute rounds with him. That pressure of me blocking those punches with my forehead, I'm going to make you so tired, you're going to look for a way out. I don't care who you are. And Sean will put you out, and I'll put you out too. So don't be hating. And I'm out here elevating. I'm lifting people up, and that's all the time I got for today. So thank you, everybody. Stay up with me, and you keep getting better at golf, Mike. Thanks.
You too, man. DBX2 live and free on YouTube, June 14th in Miami. Looking forward to it. Mike, thank you for the time.